So what exactly are you doing to make these players safe and the staff safe here as well?
Great to be back on the program. So certainly, Prenetics here, also known as DNA, we are providing an end-to-end solution for COVID-19 testing to the Premier League. So what we are doing exactly is on a twice-a-week basis, we are testing players and coaches for COVID-19. We've set up 20 testing sites in around the different stadiums. Thus far, we have performed almost 10,000 tests and have found 16 positive COVID-19 results.
Okay, and when you find these results, what then do you do to analyze who has it, and who analyzes any trends that might help actually give some pharmaceutical company a breakthrough?
So certainly I think the reality is that it's still a very small number that we're testing from a relative picture-wise, right? So certainly we are analyzing the data to identify any specific trends for the different coaches or the different teams. I think what's really important right now is that today actually marks the day the Premier League resumes the season. As part of today's launch also, we are also launching a digital health passport at the stadium, so which allows individuals to enter the stadium safely. Will understand when they got tested, the positive results, and which section of the stadium they will be allowed access to.
So, okay, that's the EPL, and I'm sure we'll return to the EPL later in the interview, but you're also involved with other sports here as well. It must be pretty much the same thing that you do. And who are you talking to, and who are you working with?
Yeah, correct. So we are working with a number of sports organizations, basically in the UK, as well as speaking to a number of them around the globe. So these include, your rugby, your cricket, your racing organizations. So we can't specifically name the organizations yet, but do expect some announcements within the next few weeks.
Danny, there have been a lot of fears over the accuracy of the tests that you're doing for the EPL. How accurate are they, and are these tests in line with what the NHS, for instance, is doing?
Yes, in terms of the sensitivity and specificity of the test, right? So we've been through the EQAP programs, which is a quality standards assurance programs, right? And then so these are actually tested to be in the line with the NHS quality standards, right? So there's no differentiation there.
Are your tests scalable? I mean, you say right now you're doing the tests on players, on coaches. Could that be expanded to include fans in the future? What would that entail? And is this the way to go in the future?
Certainly. So I think especially today we launched a digital health passport, right? So this could be a protocol in the future where fans enter safely into the stadiums. So certainly we are, certainly working within sports. At the same time, I think also we're working within the travel sector, speaking to multiple governments, airports, authorities, etc., in terms of how we can actually use basically real-time PCR COVID-19 testing to actually safely travel again.
Danny, you've talked about how you want to make DNA testing more accessible to the masses. The issue really is cost. How realistic is it that cost can be brought down for what seemed to be cutting-edge technology?
Are you referring to DNA tests or COVID testing?
The DNA testing.
Yeah, so for DNA testing-wise, right, so this is where our core business revolves around DNA. So certainly right now we are doing something called whole exome sequencing, which is able to basically sequence individuals at a few $100s, right, US. And so certainly this cost has gone down significantly over the last few years already. So then we certainly would be considered a market leader in Hong Kong, Southeast Asia, and in Europe.
Tell me something here, Danny. Okay, so DNA testing and COVID testing, do you look at both of them together? And, the thing is, I'm going back to the previous question in a funny sort of way. Is there any linkage between the two? Have you noticed any trends here?
Yeah. Got it. So our core business, just to give everyone some context, was basically DNA testing. Within the last few months, we've actually pivoted and transformed a big part of our operations to actually servicing the community for COVID-19 testing. So the COVID-19 testing is the RNA test, looking at real-time PCR aspects, right? So it has no relation to actually DNA genetic aspects. So we don't do DNA testing as part of the COVID testing process. But because we've been able to previously automate a lot of our logistics process standards, we've been able to transform easily to be able to do COVID-19 testing. Just to share some numbers, our current daily capacity in our Hong Kong laboratory today is 5,580 samples of COVID testing. We're looking to ramp that up to well over 10,000 on a daily basis, which makes us the largest private sector laboratory in Hong Kong.
Danny, okay, EPL, English Premier League, back in business later today. Is there any point in them starting? Liverpool's so far ahead after all.
So I think this is, certainly I think when you think about sports-wise, right, I think it's very, very impactful for the wider community. A lot of people are looking at it for inspiration purposes. And certainly I think it's also great to see back to work, resumption of work in terms of little bit by little bit getting back to normalcy. So certainly we're super proud to be playing a big role into bringing back the Premier League basically for the world.
Danny, talk to us about your IPO plans. You said before it is on track. When exactly will that happen? Where will it IPO?
Good question. So certainly I think we're here in Hong Kong. We're headquartered in Hong Kong. We've been able to grow quite fast within the last few years. Right now we have about 150 people globally in 10 countries. Certainly we've been seeing strong momentum in our growth, triple-digit growth in the last few years. And so certainly I think at the right time we'll be making the right announcement. But certainly I think we're just happy to be playing a role in the community for COVID-19 testing and as we look for expansion.